Hello and welcome to today's lesson, which is the fourth lesson of Unit 9.06, all on ratio. And today's learn objective is to know how to set up a ratio. So on the board are your 6 starter questions. This is your knowledge retrieval. Please pause the video here for 10 minutes, work through these 6 questions. We'll mark the answers in a minute. So pause it now for 10 minutes, work through those 6. Make sure you've got a green pen ready. Okay, so here are your 6 answers to the starter. So mark these in green pen, give yourself a score out of 6. Really well done if you've got a 6 out of 6. We're going to move on to the first I do and we do, so please be ready in a moment. Okay, so for the first I do and we do, we're setting up a ratio, remember. So the question says there are 45 beads in a bag. 2/9 of the beads are red and 2/3 are green. The rest of the beads are blue. Write down the ratio of the number of red to blue to green beads. Give your answer in its simplest form. This is important. So let's look at the information we know here. We know there's 45 beads. We know there's 2/9 red. 2/9 of 45 are red. 2/3 of 45 are green. We know we've got to write it in a ratio red to blue to green. First step, let's work out how many beads are red. So 2/9 of 45, okay? Now I know 1/9 of 45 is 5 because 5 goes into 45 9 times. So 2/9 is going to be 2 times 5, it's going to be 10. So we know there's 10 red beads. Now let's work out how many are green. So 2/3 of 45 are green. 1/3 of 45 is 15. So 2/3 are going to be 2 times that, 30. Okay, so we've got the 10 and we've got the 30 sorted. Now we need to work out how many are blue, and we know the rest are blue. So we've got 10 red, 30 green. That means we've got 40 beads, 5 remaining, so the remaining 5 are blue. So we've got red to blue to green, 10 to 5 to 30. Now we just need to simplify that because it asks for it in its simplest form. So we need to find the highest common factor of 10, 5 and 30, which is going to be 5. So how many 5s go into 10? 2. How many 5s go into 5? 1. How many 5s go into 30? 6. Okay, so copy that down, include in the question please, and then write down the we do and then pause the video so you can try that question out. So pause the video now please. Okay, so if you look at the we do, there are 18 beads in a bag. 1/6 of the beads are red, 2/3 are green. The rest of the beads are blue. So work out how many beads are red. 1/6 of the beads are red, so 1/6 of 18 is going to be 3. So we've got 3 in the red part of the ratio. 2/3 are green, so we need to find 2/3 of 18. 1/3 is 6, 2/3 is 12, so we know 12 of these are green. And it says the rest of the beads are blue. So 3 add 12 gives 15. The remaining 3 are going to be blue. So we have a ratio of 3 to 12 to 3. And we need to write this in its simplest form. So take out the highest common factor, which is 3. How many 3's go into 3? It's 1. How many 3's go into 12? It's 4. How many 3's go into 3? It's 1. Okay, so really well done if you got that right. I did also notice that there's a slight error in the question. It asks you for red to blue to green. So if you've put it red to blue to green, your answer should be 1, 1, 4. Okay, and before that it should have been 3, 3, 12. Apologies for the mistake. So yeah, just make sure you got 1 to 4 to 1 or 1 to 1 to 4. Okay. Okay, so the next I do and we do says there are 54 pupils on a school trip. For every 6 pupils, there must be 1 teacher. Okay, so pupil to teacher ratio needs to be at least 6 to 1. Okay. So it says there are 10 teachers going on this trip. are there going to be enough teachers for this trip? So it's got to be in the ratio 6 to 1, okay? So we can use this to work out the minimum number of teachers we need. We know there's 54 pupils. So how do we get from 6 to 54? Well, we have to times it by 9, okay? So for 54 pupils, there needs to be 1 times 9 teachers, 9 teachers, okay? We know there's 10 teachers going, so yes, there are enough teachers. 9 teachers are needed, that's what the ratio shows us, and there are 10 teachers going, so it's absolutely fine. Please pause the video there, work through the we do. Okay, so for the we do, it says there are 60 pupils on a school trip. For every 6 pupils, there must be 1 teacher. There are 10 teachers going on this trip. Are there enough teachers? Well, the ratio has to be 6 to 1, okay? For every 6 pupils, there's 1 teacher. There are 60 pupils going, so let's times 6 by 10 for 60 pupils. And then we also need to times the amount of teachers by 10. 10 teachers. So it needs to be 60 to 10. We have 60 pupils, we have 10 teachers. Yes, there are enough teachers. Well done if you got that right. Okay, so shown on the board are 4 questions. So you can work through these 4 questions now. So please pause the video here while you work through these 4 questions, and we'll mark the answers in a moment. So pause the video here for as long as you need, work through the questions. Okay, so here are the answers to question 1 and question 2. So get your green pen out, mark these questions, and then we'll move on to the answers for the next 2. So pause the video here, please. Okay, so question 3 and question 4. So for question 3, you should have got that there are enough teachers to go on this trip. And for question 4, you should have got that there aren't enough teachers to go on this trip. 1 more teacher is needed. Now for these sort of questions, it's important that you show your working. I believe there was actually a question like this on the exam we recently did. So it's good for you to practice this and make sure you show your working, because numerous people drop marks in this question through not showing their working. Okay, that concludes this lesson. So thank you for listening today, and I'll see you again in the next lesson. Well done. Goodbye.